I've just quickly played through myself this game, Tal Smyslov. This is a game I've annotated on YouTube way back, a while back, more than a year ago. So it was played in Yugoslavia 1959. Okay, so Tal playing white kicked off with e4. So Caro-Kann, but the quiet move d3. So he's obviously been inspired by Petrosian in his choice of opening here. d3. Okay, d5. So knight d2. And knight f3. Okay, this is just sort of cool spring, but now a surprise d4. Immediately creating loads of tension in the centre. Lots and lots of central tension with d4. Was this a slightly passive knight move? I don't know. Seems interesting. This delayed d4 already a little bit of a shock in the opening. So d takes, knight takes, an active knight on e4, and the bishop is not going to deploy, it seems, on with this slow move, but maybe quicker on c4 or d3. So takes, queen takes d4. And the knight's virtually pinned. If black doesn't want to forfeit castling, then the knight's like virtually pinned. So it looks like nice pressure already for white in the opening. From a seemingly quiet opening, all of a sudden, it looks as though white's doing well. So knight f6, bishop g5. As well as the pin, white can now castle queenside. Okay. So it looks pretty dangerous. Castles queenside. Castles. Knight d6 is going to grab the dark square bishop. Nope. Smyslov is not playing bishop d6. The a2 pawn is protected. Okay. So b5. Attacking the queen. Queen goes to a6. Now knight f5, attacking the bishop on e7. Bishop retreats. Now queen h4, leaving the whole bishop hanging here. So why does he leave the whole bishop hanging with queen h4? My head's starting to fry here, maybe from previous games in the headache. So, I don't know, are any of you guys shocked by this, that just bishop b3 wasn't played? Would many of you have just played bishop b3 here? Was there something fundamentally wrong with bishop b3? Blaggy says, yeah, 3 for 3. What's wrong with bishop b3? Oh, right. Are you saying it might be a good move, bishop b3? Okay, but queen h4 was played. I don't know. I can't immediately see it actually. Queen h4. What's the idea? Possibly the idea is bishop c3 because the queen. Now then, rook takes d7 and something like queen g5 on g7. You can imagine that might be the idea. Okay, and I have video annotated this game before. It's a bit crazy, isn't it, though? So is Smyslov just going to take on c4? Yes, he's going to test it. So the concept, queen g5, it's all lining up for this g7 disaster. Bishop c3, then you would have rook takes d7, and then a disaster on g7. So there's an immediate mate threat to deal with anyway. Okay, how does black deal with the immediate mate threat? He defends with knight h5. And he's also attacking the queen. So the queen's being deflected, and surely then black would have time for queen a2. And the king might be in trouble. Check. Okay. So the queen's attacked. You might think if queen takes h5, hasn't black got time for anything? like, you know, if takes, I guess you might be slaughtered with bishop c3 check though. Although you might think f6 and what's going on there. You might think that. So let's see. He did take, and so Smyslov decision now. If queen a2, he might be worried by knight f7. He does play queen takes a2. Not worried about knight f7. Bishop c3 is played anyway, so you don't have to worry anymore about g takes. What about this check though? Is the king just going to come there and attack the queen and then carry on the attack? Is that really the case? Knight f6. Whoa, look at this congestion. The king's on the back row. Is d8 a bit vulnerable? Bang. Queen takes f7. Looks like back row is being exploited. Okay. Check. And with this check, look, there's no rook d8. There's no rook d8. So the queen's there's going to be a queen exchange transaction. The queen's come off. Ah. Has the fun stopped? The queen's come off, or is there lasting pressure now? Check. Knight takes c6. Okay, white is the exchange up here. And this bishop's kind of good. The rook's kind of good. The king here might actually be more exposed than the white king for the moment. Something has to be done about the bishop. This a7 pawn also. Does he really want to lose that? So knight e4 check. Check. If king takes e4, then I think bishop b7, and that'll be a nasty thing. So he just puts that in the way. And here actually, Smyslov resigned. Okay, that was interesting. The really dramatic thing about this game, I think, was leaving the bishop and pre on c4. It seems so tempting to. Sorry, white was the exchange up there. Sorry, we'll look at that ending again. But white was the exchange up there. Just overview and summary. So the bishop was left on c4 here, spectacularly, for this bishop c3 idea and queen g5. So queen f7, and then we have even this ending. It's the exchange up. I'll get you an engine evaluation of this position. It's chess pace light. I'm just using, but so I'm using like Ribka just because it's stable. So here, look, white's the exchange up. It's nearly +3 we're talking about. So if, like, say bishop takes, check. Oh, there's a check here to win the knight almost. That does win the knight because knight c5 here. There's b4. Look, that's winning the knight. Because c takes, there's knight takes b3. Look at that. These guys are not really helping c5 here. So that's like winning a whole piece. Look, knight takes d4 check is actually. So black doesn't do that. So say black plays knight c5. So we've got knight e5 now. And it's difficult for black. So why is it difficult? Black is the exchange down. Remember, black's already the exchange down. Let's just play a move like bishop b7 out of interest. There'll be knight takes c4. That's the problem. Then there's knight takes b6 and rook a8. Is anyone not convinced by this? It's the exchange down, and at this level, that's pretty bad news. This is a tactical move being suggested by an engine to defend c4, because if bishop c5 it's check, bishop c5 in return is check. It's just the exchange up. It's not a forced mate or anything. Yeah. It's the spectacular bit I think was earlier in the game. Really. you know, I think this position was very, I had this idea that the position was very heavily analysed after by people all around the world. So this position here with Queen H4, what does an engine actually think of Queen H4 here? I think we might need to use Houdini. They're giving like Bishop D3. It's strange Bishop B3 is not mentioned, isn't it? Do you guys not think it's strange Bishop B3 is not mentioned? It's Bishop D3 here with advantage to black. So if Bishop B3... Ah! Guys, look at this. C5. Look. Oh, this will be painful. You see? Look at this. That's nasty, isn't it? The queen's a bit of a tactical liability here. So this B5 is the prelude for C5, C4.